Hello and welcome to the SOS show Wind Down Wednesday. You know, it's the middle of the week and we have to find time to wind down. The SOS show have a strong belief that there's power in sharing stories. We are committed to bringing you content that will elevate and change your mindset, hoping that you live your best life spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially, which leads to leaving a legacy and building generational wealth. I would like for you to watch this short commercial before we introduce our special guests.
With time as a canvas, one of the most valued gems I share is my energy. This is how we will manifest. All that I do, all that I say, these are elements that my vibrations determine. I see my gift in art as a wave formed through vibrations. We each house a tsunami. To silence this wave is to welcome a drought. We must liberate.
Welcome to the show, Mekke'l Carter.
Peace, beautiful gods and goddesses.
Welcome to the show, Mekke'l. You know what? Just watching your short clip just puts you in a whole nother world of energy and calmness. That bathtub did it for me. I love long bubble baths.
Yes, a good spirit bath will literally put me in an entire different mode in life. Like, I'll take a good bath, put some herbs in the bubble bath, put my favorite essential oils, light some candles, do my zen. It changes your whole life afterwards. You step out feeling like a new woman.
Yes. Mekke'l, you're so interesting. My team, we're decided to break your show down part 1, 2, 3. So part 1 of Mekke'l Carter, we're going to talk about meditation. I want to hear about those spirit baths. I want to hear about how you feel about our ancestors. Actually, Mekke'l, to be honest, I have just really started getting into that space of learning how to meditate, learning how to relax. You know, everything don't have to be done right now. And you know, as women, I think that we have always been caretakers of everyone else. When it comes to if you're married, the children, even parents as they get older, nieces, nephew, we are caretakers. And one of the biggest things that we don't do is care for ourselves.
Right,
So I'm excited to learn from you.
We're the nurturer. We nurture everyone else, but we forget about our own vessel.
So I'm so excited to learn from you today. I want to know more about the spirit baths because I really want to know more and start, just learning. And when I take that bath, instead of just running water, do more. Tell me, what do you usually do when you're preparing for your spirit bath?
So when I'm preparing for my spirit bath, what I usually do is I'll first get in my space of peace, turn the lights off, maybe light a few incense or candles. My favorite is Nag Champa. I love to light Nag Champa incense. You can get it any smoke shop or any like store that sells tobacco, anything like that. It's like that classic blue box of incense. And that's one of my favorites that I do. But I'll light any incense, get in a nice little zen mode, put some music on, whether it's meditation music, or sometimes even if it doesn't even have to be meditation music, anything that gets you in your zone, maybe some little 90s R&B, anything that gets you in your vibe, some jazz, whatever. And then I'll run the water. I'll get my favorite essential oils. Usually that's lavender or some type of lemongrass or something like that. And then I will put some herbs, some type of herbs in the bath. You can use different herbs depending on what you're trying to work with at the time. There, maybe you have period cramps or something. You want to put some raspberry tea,
Okay.
or just regular lavender will calm the space, or actual rose petals. They'll bring a nice vibration and like a cleansing vibration. Any type of like flowers or herbs that you are into at the time. It's nothing specific, but I'll
I
do some
see.
type of physical earth in the bathtub. You want to combine all of the elements, so water, fire, earth, and spirit. And
Okay. It's water, fire, earth, and spirit.
yes, and air, ether,
Okay.
and so water, fire, earth, and air. And so what you want to do is, after you can light some candles, whether it's just a regular candle, or maybe it's a protection candle, a black candle that you light.
Hmm.
And basically, it's all about your intention. When you take these spirit baths, when you light your candles, when you light your incense, it's about the affirmations and the intentions that you put into it beforehand. So, say one of my affirmations is, I am at peace. I am tranquil. Like, you would say these things, whatever you're trying to heal at the time or manifest for yourself. You're trying to manifest finances. I
I
attract
see.
money easily into my life. Whether you're taking a money bath, you could turn it into any vibe that you want.
I didn't know that. Now I understand.
Yes, and you
So
curate different herbs and different candles and different colors, even based on whatever you're trying to focus in on at that time.
Mekke'l, how long have you been into the meditation? Have you always been spiritual in that way? Because I call it a spirit act. We all have different things that we do.
Yeah.
Have you always, or as you got older, were your parents, is it something that you, as you got older, you became interested, you start studying and learning more? Tell me about that.
Yes. Well, I was born into a family that was always into music, and naturally, I feel like that came with the spirituality that was ingrained into us. So, starting before my father's mother, my grandma, she was in a group called Kanya, which meant to rebel in Swahili, in African. They were very reminiscent of like an earth, wind, and fire kind of vibe. So they were always like spiritually inclined. And then when my father came along, he actually started a label, and right around my birthday, right around the time that I was born, called Life Entertainment. I actually have the logo tatted on me. It's the sun, the moon, and the Ankh of life. So this is the logo that basically, it's been ingrained into me since I was born. Started the label right before I was born, and it's always been a symbol of the actual physical life, the divine feminine, the divine masculine. They come together and they make eternal life.
I love it. So since we're on the music part, you come from a music family and you went on tour. I hear that your uncle,
Yes, my uncles, Bone Thugs and Harmony. They
Cross Road.
90s rap group. Are you familiar?
I love the Crossroads. Actually was my favorite. So in love with them. So those are your uncles.
Yes. So my dad was actually very, very close with specifically Lazy Bone and Busy Bone since I was before I was born, and they've done music since as I was growing up, and as I started to grow up, and when I was about just going into middle school, going into 6th grade, and it was I was in 6th grade. My brothers were in 5th and 4th grade, and my dad took us right on tour with Bone Thugs and Harmony. We went on a nationwide tour. It was the Unified tours. Just as Flesh and Bone was getting out, he had went to prison for like 10 years, something really long. And as he was getting out, it was like a big deal. And so he ends up, like, my dad was managing Bone at the time. And so he was unapologetically like, these are my kids. Like, you're going to put them on stage. I don't care if it's for 2 minutes. Because even that's just, it's honestly, looking back, it's so odd, but I'm so grateful for what he did and how he pushed the envelope for us, because it was like little kids on a Bone Thugs and Harmony tour. So
That is amazing.
and we pushed the envelope. We were in the middle of all, we were all up in the scene. We were in the middle of all of it.
I say your life is very interesting because you guys also, let's talk about mentoring. You know what, Mekke'l? I hear when I take classes, people say we all need a mentor. Let's talk about your mentors.
100%, absolutely. I have one of the greatest mentors. He is his name is Malik Youssef. He's actually he's a spoken word artist and very famous poet from Chicago, one of the best. And I actually met him at Wiz Khalifa's studio at this Taylor Gang session, and I was talking about me and my brothers, like a group I had at the time, and he was like, "Have you heard Life of Pablo?" I was like, one of the biggest albums at the time by Kanye West, and I was like, "Of course!" Like, what do you mean? He's like, "Yeah, I wrote on that entire thing." Like, he's like, you need to be writing for me, okay? Like, and I kind of like pitched him like the idea of working with me and my brothers as a group when we were first doing our thing, and I told him, I was like, listen, I had him follow me out to my car, and I gave him one of these press kits. I had just got a bunch of like physical press kits, just like the old days, like physical pictures, yes. CD, all of that. Like, yes. I gave it to him. He called me the next day and was like, we just hit it off from there and started working. And I was really excited because I didn't even really understand exactly who he was at the time. He's such like a mystique, like just like an enigmatic person in the industry. People don't really understand all that he does, but yes. Basically he's been one of the main ghostwriters for Kanye, and now credited sometimes, but he's been a ghostwriter for Kanye since his first album. Like, he's written on all of Kanye's discography. He's written for Rihanna, Sandcastles by Beyonce on Lemonade. He's got like 6 Grammys and like 27 something nominations. Like, he's very crazy talented, and his spirit is just something that it emanates through it permeates through the universe with everybody. Everyone he comes into contact with, he is a blessing to. And yes. It just so happens that he ends up being a blessing to so many artists, and like a spearhead to a lot of these artists' careers that we have many people have no idea about, that he's been so instrumental to.
Yes. I love him. Very humble guy. Now, yourself, when in your younger years, you had the opportunity to work with Michael Jackson on a few commercials. You are amazing yourself. Let's talk about your career and your mentors when you were younger.
Absolutely. So I was mentored by Joe Jackson, which is Michael Jackson's father. When I was a young girl, me and my brothers had our group. We were called, at the time, Another Bad Carter, like on Another Bad Creation kind of vibe. Yes. And it eventually became the Carters, like the Jacksons or something like that. Yes. And it was basically like, he had a show on VH1 at the time. And he was filming the process of basically like turning us into the next generation's Jackson 5 and taking us under his wing. And he was very impressed, even also by my father, because my father reminded him a lot of himself. He was kind of like the Joe Jackson to our situation.
Yes.
And so he just seen something in us very young, and he took us under his wing, and I was super grateful. We filmed the process. We got to go to the original Havenhurst house that Michael grew up in after he moved out from Indiana. And that's actually what the pictures are up there, like yes. That I showed, that was in his house, and they had the whole shrine, all his pictures and the ET pictures and all this stuff. It was a life-changing experience. And
amazing.
We performed for Joe, and he absolutely loved us. And I'll never forget that. I'll always be so grateful. And yeah. And then Michael died. Obviously, that was so heartbreaking for everyone in 2009, and the show just ended up not airing. Everyone was so devastated. Like, it was just a lot going on at the time, so it ended up not actually airing. But I'm so grateful for the experience that that I even got to do that and get to say, like, I was mentored by Joe Jackson. Like, that's phenomenal, and I'm forever grateful.
Yeah. And guess what? It don't mean it's over. Something
is not.
It just is not ready, but it's on the shelf, and you never know when the opportunity will arise where it will air. Now,
Absolutely.
I want you to tell me, who are you working with now? What's going on in your world now? Because when we come on for part two, we're going to take off from what's going. Don't tell them too much now. We want them to say, I must listen to part two. So let's tease them a little bit and tell them, what are you working on now and with who? Because I know you also write for some of our music artists.
Absolutely. So just naturally studying under Malik Youssef's wing for, since about 2016. It's been almost 5 years now. And just going to a bunch of different sessions with him and making and building these relationships. I've gotten to write for Rock Nation artist Vic Mensa. I've worked on his first album and his project that just came out this 2020 in the past few months. It's called V-Tape. And I got some very exciting placements on that album. I wrote a hook for Snow Allegra, which is a very beautiful R&B and soul artist, and she's absolutely phenomenal. Drake has sampled her before in his Do Not Disturb.
Okay.
Yes, like she's wonderful, and it was just such an honor to write for her. I also have another song on there with St. John. He's an upcoming artist right now as well. That's killing the game, and so they were both it was just really exciting. And also Vic came out with his story on this project in a way where he was very vulnerable and very just open and like honest and telling a story. The song I'm actually on is called Too Honest. Yes, and so he breaks down like just what he's gone through in the past few years and his mental health, what he was dealing with, addiction, and just like so many different things, and just really opening up in that vulnerable space. And
Yeah.
a lot of people really were just so, they received it so well. People were just it was trending for multiple days in a row, like people just breaking down, crying to it, like just relating to it so much. And I'm just so glad like that it's like things like that really let me know, like, damn, like the music that we're making, the vibrations that we're putting out there, like, really touching people's soul and really like changing people's lives. Like it's not just something we're doing for fun out here. Like it gives a lot more purpose.
So I love it, that change lives and touch souls.
Yes.
I think you and I will go in a direction, because there's so many ladies out here that's trying to do what you're doing. You've been through a lot, you've seen a lot. And I think part two, we'll drop some nuggets, just letting them, just maybe it could help them get to the next step. What was that struggle like for you?
Yes.
And as you move up the ladder, getting closer and closer to your goals, being an artist, a musician, a writer, producer, that can't be an easy thing. And how do you balance your life? So guys, if you are listening, please like and share. We have Mekke'l Carter, and we're coming back part two. And we, in particularly, going to talk to the ladies. Let's see how many ladies we can elevate, motivate, and inspire to follow their true dream. I think that's what we're going to do.
Woman empowerment. Let's come together. That's what it's about.
I think we're onto something. I think that's the direction we're going to move as we come on with the different series. We're going to see how many women we can inspire, and maybe they'll drop comments, their names, and see what we can do with this show, because we all about Black empowerment, but we must touch our ladies. Would you say, in your opinion, Mekke'l, that it's much harder for a lady to maneuver through this career than a man, or what you say is about 50-50? What is your opinion on that?
I absolutely think that women have to work so much harder to even get half the respect that men get in this industry, and in basically all industries, but especially the music industry. I feel like we have to, and I'm grateful that I've been able to learn and navigate my way through this industry with poise and grace, and most importantly, respect.
Yes.
It's about respect for me, first and foremost. Just moving and navigating my way through life and just through this game and this music industry. It's just so important to uphold a certain standard and just essence about yourself, that je ne sais quoi, that people know not to cross certain boundaries with you or be disrespectful. Like, it should just emanate off your vibe. And I've learned that over time, just growing up on tour with my uncles, Bone Thugs and Harmony, and seeing like a lot of stuff from a very young age. But I feel like, and it's like, looking back, it's like no type of little girl should have seen the things that I've probably seen. But it put me in a position where I was able to take that and make the best decisions for myself moving forward.
Oh my goodness. And we will talk about that in part two.
In a maturity wise and just smarts wise, when it comes to just a lot of these girls, they come in this industry and they have no idea. And they're so like just hungry and just ready for just that opportunity that they don't know. Like, you have to handle yourself and carry yourself a certain way to even get taken seriously.
I like it. Mekke'l, part 2, we going there. So ladies, make sure you tune in for part 2. We dropping nothing but gold gems so we can all come together, unite, and help each other. Thank you for watching the SOS show live with Mary Evans. And thank you, Mekke'l, for being here.
Gratitude.
Peace and love.
Peace.